Hey everyone, I'm Alex from Ramp Labs. I'm very excited to share with you some of the work that I've been doing on self-maintaining software. So first, just a little bit of background about Ramp Labs. Labs is the home for AI research at Ramp. We've pushed out a lot of super cool experiments and products in the last few months, both on the applied side and also closer to the model weights. So for example, we have Ramp Sheets. It's an AI spreadsheet editor. It's like Excel, but we put an agent in it to do all the manual stuff for you. We also put out latent briefing recently. It's a system for sharing context between agents. That one was definitely a lot closer to the weights and the KV cache. Also steer, you might have seen, using steering vectors to essentially influence the output of chatbots towards specific topics. But I'm here to talk about a project I worked on, how we made Ramp Sheets self-maintaining. We posted this on Twitter, maybe you've seen it. This talk is going to be about the experiment in this article and essentially like what did we learn from it. So the story starts here. This is the Datadog dashboard for Ramp Sheets. In the past few months, AI has handled all the coding for me. So now I spend most of my time focusing on non-coding tasks, right? It means I'm looking at a lot of stuff like this all the time. I'm looking at a dashboard, trying to get a signal, tell me like what do I need to direct my coding agent at, right? What is the thing for me to work on? It became pretty clear to me that the bottleneck has shifted from writing code to code maintenance and the other parts of the software development lifecycle. And obviously, as an engineer in 2026, I'm immediately thinking, how can I use AI to automate this, make this task go faster, right? Is there a way to automate the whole software lifecycle, not just the coding part? And how would I build this automation? Before I go any further, though, I have to introduce Ramp Inspect, because all of the work I'm going to talk about was built on top of Inspect. Inspect is a background coding agent that we built for ourselves at Ramp. The nice thing about Inspect is it runs in a sandbox where the repo that we're trying to work on is actually built inside the environment. This is very useful from a review and maintenance perspective because you can surface issues by testing the live code that you might not necessarily see when you're just reading static files. So you can get these kind of subtle behaviors. It also scales out very well. I can start as many sessions as I want. It's super easy to just spin up a new inspect session, and I'm not constrained by a process running on my local machine. And it's already set up with all of our systems. So GitHub, Datadog, Sentry, Notion, Google, anything you think of, like we already have the tools for it to access. So I don't need to waste time setting up tools, setting up a harness, like none of that. I have a suite in a box ready to go and do some work for me. The first pass I took at creating a sort of self-maintaining software system was a simple nightly automation. So every night I have an inspect session. It runs on cron, and it just has a preset prompt to go do things. I tell it to scan for security issues, make sure that all of our core functionality is still working, so sanity testing. Any recently merged PRs, stress test those. And then also see maybe you can surface any bugs that are like latent in the system that we haven't seen yet. You know, I don't want to wake up to problems. I want to wake up to solutions. So I made it a system of action where Inspect will auto-generate pull requests for every bug that it finds. The real power, as I've said before, is the sandbox. So we have real tests, real API requests against live running code. This has a lot of advantages for us. It decreases noise because every error that I've seen has actually been reproduced inside the sandbox. And it also improves the quality of the fixes because in order for a fix to go through, I say you have to pass your initial reproduction, right? So I know every fix like actually works. And this approach is very simple and it's effective. And it found several real bugs every night we ran it. But there were definitely some serious weaknesses. So the automation is completely stateless is one of these weaknesses. Every night it starts fresh. So the agent just reverts to its default behavior. Aside from any new PRs that were merged in the past 24 hours, we're still checking the same stuff, the same paths every night. And so we see kind of diminishing returns on the number of useful issues surfaced over time. Another issue is difficulty parsing a large observability surface. So We just have like a large amount of telemetry that comes out of a production app, right? You have logs, metrics, spans, a ton of it. This volume of stuff to sort through leads to a lot of difficulty in finding non-obvious bugs, right? So we're very good at finding things that are obviously wrong. We have a big red error message, unhandled exception, et cetera. Like we'll get that every time. But a lot of issues in production don't have like, very obvious signals that they're happening. It could manifest itself in really bad P90 or P99 latency on a specific function. You could even have an issue that you can only tell from the telemetry through the correlation of two different metrics, right? So there's a lot of subtle stuff that's very difficult to kind of divine out of this large observability surface. So yeah, those are our two issues. We need to have some way of keeping state inside of the system. And I didn't want to solve, general agent memory, those like markdown file folders. Like I didn't want to get into too much of that because that just rapidly increases the scope of what I'm building. And I also wanted some way of narrowing the agent's focus to specific segments of our observability surface so that it doesn't have to start from scratch every time and kind of understand everything every 24 hours. An abstraction that was very useful for this is monitors. So monitors like on Datadog. For state, there's a monitor description. This is persistent, hosted in the cloud. It can hold information about the system. And for focus, narrowing the scope, every monitor is created against a specific issue, right? So a monitor goes off, I know what's happening in the code that caused it to go off. I set up an automation so that whenever a pull request merged in any of the ramp sheets code paths, we would automatically call inspect and say, put up monitors against this new PR. And then when the monitor goes off, we kick off inspect and say, fix the issue. This is a very simple setup, but it works very well. So it gives us remarkable visibility into the code base. We can scale out the number of monitors because responding to issues is now AI driven, and so the cost is very low, and it scales horizontally very well. The second anything out of the ordinary happens, like we're alerted, a fix is suggested. I have an example here. In the past, we've caught employees of a certain company trying to benchmark ramp sheets, essentially see how good it was. And so we put a blanket ban on their emails, but the way we implemented it actually wasn't comprehensive. So a few weeks later, they came back and they were still able to log in successfully. And I got alerted right after this happened saying, here's what happened, here's the fix, right? And go merge it. We merged it in and it worked very well. So that's one example of kind of this level of very fine granularity visibility you have into the entire code base. The number one objection I got when I was planning the system is, how are you going to control noise? And this was absolutely justified. I turned the system on and immediately just got assaulted with slop coming from the agent. The biggest reasons for this were uncalibrated monitors. So these are monitors that go off, but nothing's actually broken, right? It's just a noisy signal. And then the other one is duplicate notifications. So some monitors just go off a lot. Maybe it's a common problem. It's a super hot code path. And so I just get notified every time someone presses this button, like, hey, this button's broken. I know, I'll get to it, right? You don't need to keep sending me the same alert over and over again. So we solve these issues with a triage pattern. So for dealing with the noisy monitors, we say when the monitor goes off, inspect will first evaluate the merit of the alert. It'll look at historical data. It'll assess the total scope of everything. And it will decide, is this noise? Is this real? And then either tune or delete the monitor if it's noise. For dealing with duplicates, when inspect puts up a fix for a real issue, it will edit the monitor description to include the new PR that just created. So that the next session that comes off for that same issue, it will already see that a fix has been put up. There's no need to alert, and so it doesn't alert. It keeps itself silent, essentially, and quits after a few agent turns. Let's see. Oh, I really like this graphic. The general idea here is that the old monitoring paradigm is on the left. These are like kind of loose, broad strokes monitors. Essentially, tell me if there's an unhandled exception as part of the code. Tell me if our latency craters. Tell me if something's very obviously bad. There might be one super critical part of the code that's very highly instrumented, but that level of effort is not applied uniformly across the code base. There are certain parts of your code that are essentially unwatched. It could break and you have no idea. And then the new monitoring paradigm that I'm proposing is on the right. Every single part of the code base has a high level of monitoring effort applied to it. The observability system is dynamic and it evolves with the code as you're continuing to contribute to the code base. And anytime anything at all deviates from expected behavior, you know about it and you have a fix ready to merge in. And so here are just some learnings from the experiment. The number one thing is that signal to noise ratio is absolutely critical. No one likes being bombarded by slop. Teams ignore noisy monitors already. Putting an AI on it is not going to make them not ignore it. People will ignore you if when you reach a human, the alert is not actually worth investigating or fixing. Making sure every time you touch a human, you have high confidence this is a real issue is probably the number one priority. Another thing is that observability breeds customer empathy. So this kind of ties back into the point I had before about high visibility. I see everything that's wrong with the app. And so whenever anything bad happens that a user sees, I'm also seeing it. And so that just means that I feel the user pain a lot more acutely. Observability isn't one size fits all. It became very apparent that there are a lot of ways to implement this sort of continuous observability regime. And obviously, as the technology continues to evolve, the tools people plug into the technology continues to evolve. This type of setup will change, and people will find, I think, newer, better ways to build self-monitoring systems. And then inspect as a foundation is very important. So this entire experiment was just an inspect wrapper, pretty light wrapper, honestly, on top of ramp inspect. So it just shows you can get really, really far by thinking of interesting patterns for wiring up inspect sessions with each other. And I want to kind of stand this point as I go into the next slide here, which it just shows you that like wiring is a lot of where the alpha is, right? Inspect and these tools, I know there are other ones on the market that people are building, are incredibly powerful. It's a software engineer in a box. It can do any individual thing that you can do. And so now the productivity unlock is chaining these sessions together and wiring context together to take on bigger issues. You can almost think of inspect as like a unit of SWE work that I can call through API, right? I know a lot of people have been talking about the software factory, building a factory that ships out software. Inspect or a background agent, you can think of almost as the primitive of that factory, like the building block. And as we think about software factories, it's important to shift our thinking from just building software to building the pipeline that builds software. We've seen processes like this happen in the past. Back 500 years ago, if you wanted a pair of shoes, you had to make the shoes by hand and take you like a week. And now we have factories that churn out like thousands of them every second. And we can probably apply the same principle to software. We can build a factory that ships and maintains code faster than any individual human or any eng team, probably by orders of magnitude. Right? And one more concept that we've been thinking about is self-improvement. So move from just keeping the application alive and reliable, like maintenance, to now, can we make the application better using an agentic system, right? Can we look at our logs? Can we look at feedback forms, LogRocket, Slack, Gong, session replays, all of this, and somehow get things that people are struggling with the product, things that people want out of the product, and build it autonomously. So that's something we've been experimenting with as well. Just want to end with a quick plug of Ramp Labs, labs.ramp.com. We're always working on new experiments. Feel free to reach out to us. We are hiring, by the way, as well, also on the Applied AI team at Ramp. I think that's it. We're ready to open up for questions.